Stay tuned until the end of the episode. I'll tell you how to break down the reps and battle this barbell bonanza.
THROWDOWN!
Hey, y'all!
Is it Max started?
I don't know it. Oh no, it is me that starts.
Yeah, he starts.
Okay. Max is back, and on this week, we have Tropical Tyler demo the workout.
We've got squat cleans and jerks.
And we release these workouts right here on YouTube every Thursday at 1 p.m. Check out our online training programs. If you're a competitor in CrossFit, check out TTT Compete. For those of you that want to look good and feel good, check out TTT Fitness. Head to trainingthinktank.com for more info.
Mia, what's that workout?
This week's throwdown is a 9-minute AMRAP, but it's divided into 3 3-minute segments. The only movement you're doing, or the only 2 movements, are squat cleans and jerks, and the weight goes up every interval.
Are you going to say the weights?
Do I have to say them? He shows them.
No, it's
Yeah,
all right.
he shows those weights.
right.
If you want to get on the leaderboard or you want to see some movement standards for this workout, look in the description down below.
And if this workout looks familiar to you, it's because it's a modified version of 11.3, which is an open workout, and we are in an open prep cycle in TTT Compete, and our individual clients are getting ready for the open. So all the throwdown workouts for the next couple of weeks are based on the open, so there'll be open workouts or open plus workouts. Open, open, open. Take a breath.
He said couple weeks, but he means longer than that.
So if you want to get in on our open prep cycle, go to trainingthinktank.com/something. I don't know.
You
what
guys
it
have
is,
seen
Chris.
Tyler before. He is an RX level athlete who is blessed with elite level strength, and he is going through a new cycle of life. I made that sound weird, but let's see it.
Wait, you gotta explain what the new cycle is.
We talk about it in the thing.
He had a baby.
He didn't
Let's
have,
get on
he
with
didn't
this.
have a baby.
Well, he kind of has a baby.
What
now.
is?
He
made a
didn't.
baby?
He made a baby with Claire.
2, 1,
2 for 9 minutes.
Tyler does.
Yeah, he was excited about this one for sure.
So some context on Tyler is that he is a man gorilla. He hasn't been training as much as
He's
when
a
he
fresh
was,
dad.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a fresh dad. But he moves a barbell very well. This workout was actually a tip for you guys. I did this in 2011 in the open.
that a tip?
Summer
Stone
detective.
Ages.
Yeah.
Fun fact?
Just a fun fact thing. So some context on his cycling speed. The winners back then did about 46 reps or 46 reps and 1 clean, I think, was Rich Froning at this weight, but it was for 5 minutes. So this is kind of a take on that workout from 2011 where they're doing 3 minutes at this weight. The girls is heavier because the scale was a little bit off that year. Nia even agreed with me there.
Finally.
And then we go up. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say back then, I think that women's loadings were probably reflective of what women could do.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
just-
now in the sport, I mean,
we're just so
the
much
females
better
are
than the
so
boys
much,
now.
It really is true. There's so many females that are so impressive and as strong as some of the guys were back then. I mean, they could do 165 now and probably beat a lot of the guys.
So it looked like he did a cluster set and then took a longer rest, which is, I guess, his strategy. I don't know if I would personally do that. I think that for me, trying to go faster in barbell cycling like this, I'm just not going to be able to maintain that speed. So I would probably pick like every 10 seconds, or that's just a arbitrary number, but something on the clock that I would try to hold, and then that time would increase as the weights go up.
Yeah, so this is probably less than, even at his current strength levels, less than 50% of his 1 rep max. So this is in a cycling weight territory. And I think there's really kind of 2 strategies that people go out with when they're trying to cycle. It's either very rhythmic, like they're on a clock, they're on an 8-second clock or a 10-second clock, even if they're not counting, just their footwork and strategy makes it like that, or they do it as a bunch of fast reps and a little bit of a longer break. And I actually find that for me, doing a couple reps and taking a longer break allows my heart rate to come down, whereas if I'm just doing 1 rep steadily across, I feel like my heart rate just steadily creeps. And I think, you know, the best CrossFitters, you watch them, they seem to operate more linearly, but I'm not one of the best CrossFitters, so you gotta play your own game.
Both of those options would work well. It just depends on the athlete. It's going to vary. Someone like Tyler, he likes that kind of cluster set like you're mentioning, and then taking a longer break. Some people like Mia, she mentioned, may want to be a little bit more linear. Both can work. The one thing you can't do, though, is take super long breaks if you want to be high on the leaderboard, especially a workout like this.
Yes.
So Max mentioned 46 cleans being the winner. That was Rich Froning. He had 93 total reps because they counted the clean and the jerk. That's continuous work the entire time. So no matter how you do it, it's basically you're doing something with the barbell the entire 5 minutes in that workout, which would mean you have to be pretty close to that for the entire 9 minutes in this workout.
I see that we allowed friends to be able to change the weights.
The judge can change the weight, which is something to use it like in your strategy. When you're getting to the end of that 3 minutes, it may be smart to push a little bit, because he had a 25-second rest.
Yeah. And that's big because now it's a 2 minute and 30-second AMRAP at this heavier load.
Right.
When in reality, you probably should have just strategized a little bit better for that.
Yeah, and if you're changing your own weights, it means that you're probably going to take that 30 seconds and you're going to be thinking about your rest at the 3:30 mark going into this. So that's definitely a pivotal point in the workout to figure out how to get somebody to change your weights, and then how much rest you need to start cycling this heavier weight.
In the open, for the max lift, we had to change our own weights last year, but for the mid workout weight changes that have been happening in the more recent years, people can change it for you, which I actually don't like because you don't get to rest. But that's something I think you should start taking advantage of, so you do feel that lack of rest having to go to a heavier bar.
Yeah, so the cycle speed now, even though this is only 20 pounds heavier, the cycle speed, just maybe the cumulative fatigue from all the other reps and it just being a little heavier, now it's starting to slow down a bit. So it seems there's going to be substantially more reps in the first set, and then it's going to drop off in that second set, and then probably drop off even bigger in that third set.
For sure.
Crazy how that works when weights get heavy.
It is something you should think about. If you're really good at, let's just say, the 165 bar, maybe you're like me, that not as strong, that 205 would be really hard, but 165 I can still cycle relatively well. I may want to push that a little bit more out of my comfort zone than I otherwise would, just knowing that I'm going to slow down no matter what, how I pace on that 205 or the 185 bar.
Yeah, so for Tyler, this is a very conditioning-based workout, and 205 is still like under 60-something% of his 1 rep max. So it's still all cycling weights. But if you're watching this and let's say your clean and jerk is 225 or 235, there's a big difference between 165 and 205 relative to your percentage of 1 rep max. So you might have to be banking reps and almost thinking of that 165 as like, hey, I'm going to go out this as a 3-minute max effort, have somebody change my weights, get a couple in the second bar, and then almost be thinking of those last bars as like 1 or 2 reps as 1 rep max attempts.
You can see now his breaks are really elongating. Almost 20 seconds on that one. He was on like a 10-second clock for a while, then took that really long break. I think that's kind of what I mean by you just have to avoid those super long breaks. So whether that is doing the cluster sets where your quote-unquote long break is still only 10 or 12 seconds, or Mia's approach, which maybe is on the 12 seconds, on the 15 seconds, find a plan that's going to fit whatever strength style you are, and then try to hold to that as long as you can.
I think, too, that might have been a little bit of an execution mistake. So he stopped lifting at 540, so he's already at 30 seconds of rest, and now he's going to have to lift a heavier bar. I think you would have been better off pushing these all the way through because they're lighter reps to accumulate, and then having the weight changed right at the time limit and taking the rest at there, knowing that you're just going to get less reps heavier. I think these would be little things that people figure out in an open style setting by retesting these workouts. You guys just get the lucky perspective to see somebody as our sacrificial lamb doing it for the first time.
So throughout this, he's done would you call that a thruster jerk?
Yeah, it's like a squat clean thruster jerk.
I think that if you are strong enough to do that, that's the best way to cycle the bar. It's the least amount of time under tension, and that little dip under at the end just saves your press out for the later bars.
Yeah, thrusters seem like it's the same thing, but it's actually a lot more effort.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And when you're grinding out pressing reps, I feel like that's one of the keys to driving and jacking up heart rate, at least for me.
Yeah, one of the things you have to have is a really good front rack position to do the, thruster jerk or whatever you want to call that. So just keep that in mind too. Like if you have a really bad front rack, it's really hard to drive up like he is. If you are going to stand it all the way up and then do a jerk, I would practice that almost like you stand up and it's just one little bounce off of your shoulders to get it up. So again, less time under tension.
Yeah, so this is, again, he's really skilled with the barbell, and I think having good squat speed out of the hole at this weight, having a pretty good vertical squat where his hips aren't shooting back, all of those things lend for this to be a movement that he can do it that way. If you're somebody that kind of stands up and your hips go back and your elbows kind of get pushed down, you might need to be thinking these as squat clean and split jerks or squat clean and push jerks. But this would be the optimal technique to do if you could cycle weights and want it to be competitive.
I have a question. Say you, what was
for?
that? For you guys,
Okay.
for the audience. So you do a squat clean and you miss the jerk. The squat clean and the jerk are 2 different reps. So then the next squat clean, does that not count? Or the next clean before the jerk?
I don't have a good answer to that question, but we will have to make sure that we make it clear in the movement standards, which
That we
are
will.
underneath the video.
Yes.
Did I just expose us?
Yeah, you did.
I thought you
Good
would
job.
know.
Great job, Mia.
Sorry.
Well, in the
You did CrossFit back then.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. That was 10 years ago. I was a spring chicken.
I thought you were an elephant.
Yeah, I'm guessing that
Never
you had to do a
forget.
full rep. Like you couldn't do
Yeah.
one and then miss.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Because
only
then you
do
could just
cleans
do
or something.
cleans the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I think they only did it as a tiebreaker.
Or just do jerks, maybe. Like,
Yeah, just keep it on your shoulders.
All right, 10 seconds left.
Let's see if he goes after
yeah.
another one.
I thought he was going to hold on to it.
Do we give him that rep? We'll give it to him because he's a new dad.
Nope. I don't know.
Sorry, Tyler.
We'll see if we match him
has
based
no
on the
sympathy.
standard. There's a slippery slope.
Good job, man.
Let's go to the little whiteboard. All right, so after watching Tyler go through the workout, he got the bulk of his reps done in the 0 to 3 minute window. So he did 20 total reps, which actually converts to 40 reps on the leaderboard because we're counting the clean and the jerk separately the same way they did in 11.3. However, you have to be able to do those in order. So if you do a clean and then you miss the jerk, you don't get the rep count for the next clean. So just a reminder for you as I go through these. So he did about 1 rep every 9 seconds. If you remember from watching the video though, he didn't do it linearly. He did a bunch of reps and then took a break until the top of the minute and then kept in doing that sequence for each one of the 3 minutes in that window. I think I'd recommend probably staying on a little bit more of a linear count or not taking a really big break at the end of the window unless you're really trying to capitalize on the later barbells and keep your heart rate down early. Then he transitioned, took him about 30 seconds to transition, and then with the remaining 2.5 minutes, he got 10 more reps or 20 reps on the leaderboard, which is about 1 rep every 15 seconds. And he actually followed that same exact theme for the last barbell, where there was a 30-second transition, he got another 10 reps. So his total score on that workout was 40 clean and jerks or 80 total reps on the leaderboard. I think based on watching this, if I were giving people an elite target to go after based on this workout and seeing 11.3, I think that 59 reps or really trying to break into that 60 or 118 total on the leaderboard is probably where we'd see people excel, where the reps would be distributed somewhere between 6 and 9 total reps could be up here in the first minute. Then somewhere between 4 and 6 additional could be here, and then another 4 or 6 could be additional here. Now this is going to be highly dependent upon your fitness, your current training state, and having the requisite strength that Tyler has, where this last barbell is a lower percentage of your 1 rep max, so that way you can still cycle it. Now, for those of you out there that cannot do these prescribed weights, I would recommend going into the description of the video, looking at the intermediate scaled workout and trying to attack it, trying to get the same rep ranges and go through the workout in the same way, but you're gonna do it at percentages that match up to your 1RM instead of thinking that you're somebody that can clean and jerk over 325 pounds, which makes these barbells relatively light for them. Now, as you go through it, some tips. The first is that this 0 to 3 minute window is going to be your biggest rep opportunity, which means I think you should try to milk as many reps as you can out of that 3 minute window without redlining. but you should take it all the way up until the time cap of 3 minutes. Tyler stopped a little bit early there and then took a longer break after it. I would not recommend doing that. These reps cost you less than the reps that are coming after it because the weight is lighter. So I would say get as many as you can there. Then take your longer transition. Tyler took about 30 seconds and I think about 40 seconds here on this one. It could be less than that. But once you get started, same thing here. Go until the end of the time window. Don't stop early in anticipation for the weight change. Instead, push every rep that you possibly can in this window as well, because once you end this window, the weight's gonna go up and then these reps are more costly to your system and you're more tired from having already gone through 6 minutes of work. Then after your longer transition, this is kind of just the sellout barbell. Now, there's really two ways to approach these simple workouts where it's just a barbell and just one movement. We talked about it in the demo video. You can kind of cluster the reps and then take a longer break, or you can try to be very rhythmic and on some sort of a metronome. So you can even look at the clock and say, hey, I want to start a lift every 10 seconds. If you have that ability to stay mentally focused on a clock, or if you have a judge or a partner that can give you a 3, 2, 1 lift count, that can be super beneficial for you as a training tool before you get into the open to teach you how to barbell cycle on a rhythm. That's all I got for this one. It is simple, but it is also going to be nasty. It is a good test. It simulates the open like we're trying to do at this time of the year. Good luck. You'll see me next week.
I mean that in the, it's an awful thing. Yeah.
Well, whatever, we're gonna get canceled for this if Chris puts this on.
Okay. Don't put that anywhere. Let's get into the throwdown.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Patar in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button, let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Patar.